Last time I had my bus repaired in Buffalo, Wyoming, and after the repair was finished, I headed north into Montana, and just before reaching Billings, Montana, the bus lost power and blew a lot of smoke out. So I crawled into a shop in Billings, and this gentleman allowed me to spend a couple of nights in the bus while they were waiting for space to repair my bus. Once the bus was in the shop, I couldn't stay in it, so I packed up all my gear with the help of some additional gear I found at Cabela's, and headed south into Yellowstone for some camping at Custer National Forest. And this turned out to be quite an adventure because it rained most of the time I was out there. But it was some spectacular scenery. Some of the most striking, significant mountains I'd been in at the time, and something I'll never forget. I actually camped a couple of nights, and the next day I got up and attempted to cross Beartooth Pass and got up to the top of the mountain, and it was so cold and wet and windy that I actually turned around and came back. But I actually did get up to the pass, so I was pretty proud about that. But as you can see, the cut of the mountains, I'm guessing that's probably why they call it Beartooth, because it looks very jagged, rugged, and the only thing that I can think of that looks even close to this, in America anyway, is the Tetons. I know there's the Sawtooth mountains, but they're not as dramatic and big. They look more like the teeth on a saw rather than these big, huge peaks that you see in the mountains here. But I had a blast riding around in the dirt and the pavement, and as soon as I got to camp, I was able to unload all that massive camping gear and all that, so I could actually do some riding. But it was hard to make decisions because I didn't really have any wet weather riding gear with me, so I couldn't do the things that I really wanted to do in the rain anyway. So I was stuck in camp most of the time. This has been a pretty interesting day so far. It's rained about, I don't know, 12 times. I mean, nothing but little sprinkles, but it looks like the rain machine is right there, probably pulling warmer, moister air up to this valley, and then it's going up there and hitting that cold air in the updraft and bringing it back down. So I don't think that there may not be a good day to to ride up here. But so far it hasn't drenched me. I just don't have any. I don't have any pants, waterproof pants. The jacket's pretty good, so I'll stay relatively non-hypothermic, but still kind of scary to have to sleep out here all night. I did find another campsite that I think that I'm gonna. Oh shit! My tire. Nah. Trying to just replace the front tire last night. Got to about 9 o'clock and I was beat and didn't think I could put the other one on properly, and definitely not have any fun. This one's got just a little bit of knobs left. I figured I could at least do some street riding and maybe get off on the dirt here, but so far it's been okay. But I think if I find a big enough gap in the rain, I'm going to move my camp up about, looks like maybe 2 or 3 miles. There's some firewood. It's nice and flat. It's right next to the creek. That would be a beautiful place to camp tonight. And enough firewood maybe to keep me warm even. That would be super nice. We'll see. I'll go back down and check it out. Rather than packing up in the rain and moving camp, I decided to just simply snatch the firewood from the other camp. It's much simpler and faster even. You just can't really get the depth and the stunning beauty until you're just looking at it, and then all of a sudden it just kind of hits you that is just freaking amazing. I mean, there's lots of mountains out there. Holy crap! mean, it's not straight up, but it looks like just a huge wall of rock. And it keeps tumbling down. You can see there's, oh well, yeah, there's paths up there that you don't want to be in ever. And then it snows. Kind of want to like to see the place in a few months because I know this place is covered in snow. I'd like to come back without a motorcycle. Last time I remember raining, cold, windy in the hammock was Colorado. What was that, 2011? First time I camped in what I would call fall, almost winter conditions. I'm kind of afraid that's going to be the same tonight, but I'm going to get a fire as soon as it stops raining or slows down or something. I don't know. I'm glad to be in a tarp. I was going to go swap campgrounds or campsites, but the weather's been just so crappy, you know, storms rolling in, and some roll past, some dump enough water on you to get you really wet, and I can't really afford to be wet. Yeah, I can't afford anything to be wet tonight because I'll freeze my ass off. I will possibly die. So I'm trying to stay dry. That's the main thing. I mean, if all else fails, there's probably a hotel room 30 miles away, so no big deal. But just kind of interesting. I was kind of flashing back to Colorado and my first experience hanging in the aspens in the... Well, actually, was that Colorado or was that Utah? Anyway, close. It was windy, it was cold, it was wet, it rained like this all night long and worse, and much windier than this. But it's the gust of wind here, what's really... Anyway, I'll figure it out. I need to get a fire started so I can have some warmth. You know, it's really funny how I was feeling all cold and wet and depressed. Once again being stuck out here in paradise, and once again getting a fire started is all it really takes to turn your spirits around. I haven't always known that, but I've known it for quite some time that nothing like a fire will wake up your spirit and get you motivated again, or at least get you warm if nothing else. And man, it's extremely hard to sit around a campfire and not feel relaxed and content and have decent spirits. At least I've never been able to do it. So it took me a while to get it started. In this wind, I had to dip a stick in the gasoline in my gas tank. Yeah, I was getting frustrated. I couldn't get any kind of spark going. So pulled out the lighter, pulled out the stick, stuck it in the gas tank. Here we are, feeling much better. I'm gonna have to cook me some dinner here soon, and hopefully it'll be warm enough to stay all night, or at least maybe I'll go to bed late and do maybe a 4-hour sleep, and then pack up and roll back towards Red Lodge. Have some breakfast maybe. I don't know. We'll see. They said my bus may be ready tomorrow afternoon late. That would be cool. That would be extremely cool if I could get back on the road. If I could just get another 15,000 miles, it would be all worth it. If I have to leave that shit case here, I'm gonna be pissed. It's rain, man. It's really getting brutal. I might have to go finish cooking my dinner under the tarp. Wow. So, got my dinner, quote, cooking, Got a little Louisiana red beans and rice. Yum! That shit's probably God knows how many years old. It's 3, 4, 5 years old. And I'm out of the rain, sitting in my nice, comfortable hammock. But I'd rather be out sitting in front of the fire. It's just too goddamn wet. So, I guess I'll eat in here. Maybe the fire will still be going by the time I get done eating. Get out there, warm back up. I did a temperature check earlier. The sun's not even down. It's 51 degrees. It's probably below that now. I got layers. I got layers. I got polyfill. I got big thick socks. I think I even got a, what do you call those things? Those hats they wear in, anyway. It's like a toboggan, goes all the way down over your ears and ties. Giving some thought to my future while I'm waiting on my dinner to cook. And doing a little hike around the camp. I just realized that, realized several days ago that my funds are quickly becoming depleted, so I'm gonna have to do something besides piddling every once in a while to make some money. I'm gonna actually have to get serious about it. I've got some ideas, but I mean, in addition, it's not just the money's running out. I'm starting to think that maybe not working, sitting on your ass, or just being on vacation like I've been for the last 10 months, 11 months. I've almost made it to the 1 year mark. But I'm starting to think that just having fun all the time and doing whatever the fuck you want to is probably not good for your mental health. Not that mine was ever that good to start with, but I think you've got to have a purpose, or at least some kind of producing something, making something, and that's really what I've kind of been pondering. And hopefully I can get something going here soon and do something fun, productive, and make money at the same time. I think, well, more to come on that. I'm just thinking it's about time that I got back to work. I hate to think about working when I'm in the middle of having so much fun, and I'm in Montana. I haven't been to Montana before, so there's quite a lot of playing I need to do here, but I need to replenish the bank account and get myself out of this fear mode where, what do I do when I run out of money kind of thing. And I don't want to be in that spot. I want to have income coming in to replace the stuff that I'm spending at the very least, so I have a emergency fund, nest egg, whatever you want to call it. So I've always got that. Or if I want to make some investments in toys or whatever, I've always got. I don't have to wait till I earn the money. I shouldn't have to. I mean, this point in my life, not very many people my age, wait for toys at this age. They just go fucking buy them. I mean, within reason. But so those are my thoughts. Dinner, baby, check it out. That's some good eating there. Occasionally I think that I could spend my life out in nature, and it doesn't take too long to come to my senses, because I'm no mountain man. I'm far from it. I mean, I've got all these tools that help me survive in the wilderness. What would I do? I mean, I've checked out the whole bushcraft survival thing. I mean, I enjoy that stuff, but the reality is living in the wild with or without tools can be hard. You know, if you got tools, it's a little bit easier, but you know, hell, I just ate a packaged dinner. You know, I quote cooked it, but you know, I cooked it with a bottle of butane and, you know, a titanium cookware that stores everything in there. Poured it in plastic, basically a plastic big huge Ziploc bag that it came in, and cooked it for 16 minutes. And you know, what if I really actually had to go find something to eat? I mean, there's a whole lot of pine trees out here, but I saw a bird. I'm sure I could survive a few weeks at least with the right tools. But you just don't realize how dependent we are on the rest of the world until you run out of something. So I'm sitting here looking at this tree and thinking, those are not from antlers. Those are scratches. Those are gouges. And I'm sitting here thinking, what kind of an animal? Oh, a bear. I got a knife. I can survive out here. Join me next time as I make a failed attempt to cross Beartooth Pass into Yellowstone National Park. A summer day that turned into more like a winter day. Crazy, crazy weather.